in the Twitch streaming class whether or not I want a large audience. And honestly, I told them no. I'd rather have 100%. An audience of mostly people I know, plus friends of friends showing up, than have to deal with, like, strangers online. Maybe that sounds bad, but that's my preference. Hi, Julianne. Perfect timing. We just went live.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're all thematic.
Well, that's why I was late.
Maybe I should find one. You were trying to find a background.
Nice.
It's easy to find. My computer was just being a biatch about it. Hello, everybody. We're live,
Hi,
right?
Friends.
Yes, we're live. Thanks for that, Julianne. We're great.
It doesn't say that anyone's actually watching us yet, so we're probably okay.
I'll
but,
do 0 in the beginning, and I'm like, I know I'm watching, so that's a lie.
Yeah, and I've seen a number of people, like, retweet it, and our regulars will show up right at 9, so...
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll wait 1 minute here.
The various services right now.
Yeah, I should have done Facebook.
Do it now.
Do it now, yeah. Say we're live and come.
Yeah, but I like to make, like, a post that makes sense, not just like, bah!
Link!
I mean, sometimes you just gotta take the thing you can do. You know, that's the...
That's true. I'm gonna get all of my aunts on here. Like, they always want to support me. I appreciate it.
Perfect is the enemy of the good, Julianne.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
so
rule.
right.
Yeah, it is the rule.
Perfect is the enemy of done.
Especially as...
We say that in academia all the time.
The rest of you, but I am starting to feel nervous about the end of the term. Like, we have to get stuff done. The semester's going to end.
Oh.
We're running out of time to, like, do the things. How much knowledge can I cram into my students in 3.5 weeks?
How much bardic knowledge? Oh!
Oh, dang. Oh, yeah, they're done
That's
learning.
The name of the channel.
It's just vibes from week 11 to week 15.
Okay, there's
just
mine.
Vibes.
Julianne, I have students who are reading your writing the next 3 weeks, but they're done learning. Dr. Julianne Grasso, everybody. I want that recorded for posterity here.
Oh, no, yeah, clip that one and show it to them.
We read your FF4 last week. I've just been bad about telling people.
I'm so bad at telling people when we, like, the class has read and, like, enjoyed.
Yeah, I always mean to, like, tag people, but then life gets away.
It's just, yeah, exactly, everything just kind of gets away.
Welcome, friends.
Right.
We are live.
Now it's actually 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna start us here.
So,
and I'm gonna let Dana and Julianne guide chat. Unfortunately, I need the full screen monitor to do Tchia. It won't take inputs while it's windowed, which... for like every other use case you could possibly imagine is totally fine. But it means I'm going to be doing a little bit less Twitch chat interaction today.
Yes, all right. I should be on Discord.
We have been looking forward to this. Well, since before it came out, but particularly, you know, whenever Ryan was like, "Oh, hey, guess who I got to come on with us at the end of the month."
That's right.
Hey, hi.
So welcome, John Robert Matz, the composer of the game.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here again. Not dressed up in period attire, but you know, we're doing something a little bit more relaxing this time out. But yeah, always a pleasure to talk with y'all and to see you play this game.
Yeah.
Hope you like it. I guess looks like we're starting here.
Yeah, we got get us going here now that I've seen a couple people on here.
Yeah.
So this is not the first time you've worked with this team, though.
No.
A couple folks who have kind of watched the arc of your career so far have noted that there are a couple projects that were received very, very well critically early on that did not immediately translate into the commercial widespread acclaim that, frankly, I think you deserved for Fossil Echo, which was your first collaboration with this team.
Excellent. Yeah, that was the first game I did with them. In fact, you can see, because my studio is erect, over there in the very back, a poster for Fossil Echo that we took to PAX when it was into PAX 10. Fossil Echo was was Awaseb's very first game, and my first time working with Phil Crefo and Terry Bua over there, and they are wonderful people. It was a very small game. It was them and me, and I got Gordon McGladdery of A Shell in the Pit Audio in to do sound design. And he brought in M. Haversatt towards the end, who is the lead sound designer for this one. It's just this tiny little team making this weird little hand-animated side-scroller not like platformer with stealth elements and a bunch of other stuff. It's a real nice thing. But otherwise, you can watch this lovely introduction cutscene.
I love the framing of this. Yes.
Yeah, after the cutscene, we'll get some background, introduce y'all to like what this game's about.
The first time you boot this up, you actually get a lovely message from the developers, and I wish it would play every time you clicked New Game. But you are looking at New Caledonia, this small island nation, roughly between Australia and New Zealand, north of that kind of in-between state, but that part of the world here. See that gorgeous red sunset.
Ryan, you might want to drop the game audio slightly if we're going to talk over any of it.
Oh, I did on the stream's end some, I think? Oh,
Did
no.
you just do it? Because we asked about audio levels, and Pete just said game audio a little loud if we're than
Yeah,
us.
I got us covered.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this is very much a game that was influenced, inspired by like their love of Phil and Terry are from New Caledonia, and like there was a lot of that in Fossil Echo, but also a lot of fantastical elements and a lot of other kind of Pacific area cultural touchstones. But it was a fantasy world, and this is much more directly inspired, right down to the languages.
Ooh.
Have we cropped up? No, we haven't. Good. Yeah. We were like missing the text.
The text should be there, except
Yeah,
It is.
looks like it's
the
good.
Starlight charity frame for this month takes out the tiniest bit of the bottom, but it should be okay.
We always
good.
have to be a little careful.
No, I had this moment of like I'm listening to our individual stream and watching the video up here on the actual thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The disconnect.
When we started doing this, everybody who wasn't local to me had to watch on the 3-second delay and hear on the 3-second delay, and it was terrible.
Very good.
Yeah. Many moons ago when we first started streaming, because a lot of streamers are just them and their computer and their gameplay. Like, it's pretty complex to run a stream with guests.
I see some friends here in the chat, including Roman over here, who's one of our developers.
Hey!
Wonderful,
I'm Endor.
welcome. We're so excited about your game.
I know.
It's on my
Alright.
like once I finish the semester, I'm buying it for myself like reward
Yeah.
list.
we all have like a very similar.
Nice shot.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be glossing over some of the early gameplay stuff. But the slingshot feels very good.
Rapid fire keyboard sounds.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, all the game's language is in French or Trahu, which is one of the. There are several dialects of language spoken on the island, but those are the two largest ones. French because it's a French colony, and Trahu because we wanted to have, like that is the one of the larger, more of the population speaks that, and so the game is told in these two languages, and it's all subtitled, which is a bit interesting when we get to some of the bits a little bit later in, but you can kind of poke around. Go
That's
inside
so
your
great.
house.
Gotta have subtitles.
There's been some really
Just in general. Accessibility.
miraculous, frankly, advances in accessibility in gaming that are really still pretty new. And
Brought a
every
lot of
time
joy
I
to
see
my
some
disability scholar
new
heart.
thing related to it, it's amazing.
Yeah, even when I finished my dis in 2018, there was still a long way to go on, and I didn't touch on accessibility specifically in very many sections, but even since then we've seen so many incredible
beyond just the
advancements.
accessibility angle, in terms of the world building here, like, the foreign language communicates something specific about this space that an English overdub would not do.
Yeah.
There's even some bits later in, without spoiling things, where the difference in languages communicates extra elements, shall we say. Like there's a story beat that you could miss easily if you don't notice the fact that they have switched languages. Things like that. Yes. Now we learn about.
That's so smart.
It's
Ludus
a nice
language switching.
it's a nice touch. But it is also like very key to, here am I as an American saying this for them, but it's very key to the kind of the experience they wanted to convey.
Yeah, it captures the feeling of the place.
I also like that I've been playing for less than 2 full minutes at this point, and I have my Breath of the Wild glider. No, like, set of island trials to, like, get the game started here. We're now playing, right?
Yeah, that was the first thing Ryan showed me was, you have the glider like in Breath of the Wild. Yes.
Now you gotta go use it, of course.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's very nice. They have you jump. Obviously, you're gonna jump, and there's water below you, so you're probably, even if you run out of stamina, you're not gonna drown or not gonna die.
She is like a stronger, better character than Link because she doesn't use stamina to swim on the surface of the water, right?
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Sleeping for 100 years, she's yeah.
She can like actually swim.
Right.
It's like
Love a good underwater sound duck.
Honestly, like the water and getting, splashing around in water and oh man, you should go do the shooting range. Do the shooting range. It's fun.
Oh, I'll do the shooting range in just a second. I actually
Do
need
you
a
wanna-
trophy anyway.
Oh, you got to show this off. Yes.
First,
yes.
Tons of kudos to the Eurogamer reviewer of this. One of my habits is games I like. I read all of the critical reviews from all the big places because I like hearing other people agree with my take that stuff is awesome. But
Yes.
the reviewer for this, if you have not read it, wrote that trees in Tchia work the way children imagine trees to work.
Very apt.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so springy.
Which I thought was a lovely touch.
It's great. Like climbing up and then flinging yourself off, and eventually, like, you get to the point where you're just like flinging yourself off one to glide to another one to glide, to fling yourself from that one, and it's just a kind of a cascade of trees as springboards, and it's good. But like you said, like, she hasn't been sleeping for a million years like Link, but I also think like it's key that like there is a massively like youthful exuberance to her movement, to everything she does, like, and that's like all down to like character animation and the controller, like, or the control system that they built for her. Like, it is fun and vibrant to move in this game.
For sure.
But I let you like show off some of that stuff. But yeah, congratulations, gold, bravo.
Thank you.
And we get the info in the chat that almost all of the voice acting is from New Caledonians.
I was going to
right.
ask because I figured and hoped so that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great.
There are a few exceptions if you want to count singing, because there's a certain part in the game where the entire team sings as like most of the people in a town, and we are from all over the place. So, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get that far tonight, though.
I'm going to jump us ahead a tiny bit. But first we have to do this, which I thought was very cool. And I read in an interview that you did, I forget with which outlet, John, so you'll have to remind me where I read it. But they mailed you these leaves so you could sample them correctly, as I understand it.
So actually what it was is, there's a lot of percussion instruments that are used in New Caledonian, like, traditional music that are, for lack of a better way to put it, like, they're plant-based. There are things called wanjeps that are like beaters that are made out of like dried bark stuffed with stuff, and you hit them against each other. But then there are also these leaves, and they're a specific kind of fern that like you pluck and they dry out really quick, and they're really brittle. They have a really like sturdy sound, and you can hear them here. And Phil Crefo actually went back home for Christmas, I think, if I remember right, and got some of these leaves, put them in a box, and brought them back home to France. And then he set up a little audio recorder, and we just did a session where we recorded him playing them in like individual strokes and patterns, and then I made a contact instrument out of them. And then I also made the virtual instrument that you're playing right now. So you get downstroke and upstroke in alteration.
Yeah, Ryan nerding out about the is it the ukulele later on?
Yes. It has become a thing online, actually, and I've loved watching basically every YouTube video I can get my hands on of people playing this in-game ukulele. We'll get there shortly, actually, it turns out.
Is it actually a ukulele? Or is it a... Okay, cool. Because I haven't played this yet. Oh yeah, I should grab mine. It's over there. See it?
I also like that there is no indication that you're doing well here, and more importantly, that you're doing poorly.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
It's like trombone champ. It doesn't fail you. You just gotta stick with it.
But if you got told that you were doing nasty,
Right.
here, which is how trombone
true.
champ phrases it to you,
But trombone champ
it would
doesn't
take
fail
you out
is
of
what
the
I meant.
environment of like, it doesn't matter how well you do it. You're doing this thing with your dad, right? Like,
Yeah. It's all about your connection.
There's a little line in the tutorial, I think, that is something like there's no winning or losing in music,
Yeah.
Right.
which is a really nice sentiment. And so yeah, when we originally set it up, like when we the very earliest version of this mechanic in the game, when you finished it, there was a tally that would kick in, very obviously like perfect kind of thing, and that was just like really obtrusive. We felt like it's like, you know what? No, we're just gonna make a little pop in the corner, and that's it. And so you'll see that
there's
here.
a small note that'll tell you like what percentage of stuff you did, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't pop up. That's weird. Maybe you turned it off.
Maybe, or I've already gotten the achievement to get 100% on a music event, so maybe it just
That might have
goes
been it.
notifying me at that point. But I do remember seeing it when I was playing it last week. But
Very
it's
well
not.
done.
It's very much not the point of that, right?
No, not at all. Like, obviously, I want you to play it perfectly because I want you to hear my beautiful music. But also you can add all kinds of extra notes, and it doesn't take that against you. So if you want to improvise a thing, as long as you do what's there, you can do whatever you want, and that won't affect.
The ukulele section, actually, we will get there reasonably shortly, and you have a lot of opportunities to like embellish the given melody that you kind of assign the player.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much a thing that, like, as I wrote the songs, I thought about like how difficult they were going to be and the kind of arc of challenge that we go. And obviously, like, this is the kind of stuff that people that build rhythm games, like, they have to think about all the time. But here I'm trying to like also basically write these diegetic musical moments that feel like they would, hit the emotional beats we need to hit. Introduce, themes and elements that are going to connect to the characters and tie back and we'll refer to as we go through the game, but also something that we can have a playable part that makes sense. And so it's like gameplay plus emotional heartstring tugging plus it fits in the universe plus it just it sounds right for the moment, and it's just a lot of little elements, but I think it came together all really well in the end.
I like how he's sunburned.
See, when you're like albino, you gotta be careful. When
Yeah, I know. It's like so realistic.
Yeah, I'm one of those don't tan, just go straight to burn types. So I appreciate that.
I'll let she stops, looks back like, Dave.
Yeah, what am I going to do about that?
Yeah. Because then you have to set the box down and put it back in there. Oh, left ear is the symbol of love. Go lefties! Woo!
That's sort of like the left ring finger.
Yeah, that's true. Some places wear wedding rings on the right hand, though.
Like Australia, because they're flipped.
Because yeah, they're on the other side of the world.
Is that true?
I don't know. I just made that up. It might be true.
Because I know some folks in Europe that like violinists and stuff. Friends of mine that wear it on the right hand.
Oh,
You gotta lighten up that finger for dexterity.
Yeah, I just suffer through it. So I've never noticed that that finger has any issues playing the instrument since adding it. So.
I know we didn't have a chance to poke around in here, but amongst Tchia's toys, there is a little figure from Fossil Echo in there.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome.
Love a throwback from the same company.
Yeah.
There are a few throwbacks. There are a few connections. In fact, they might take place in the same universe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure. I didn't write the story.
What?
There's some stuff in here for sure.
Ow.
Oh. Okay,
He's
still
like,
alive,
get
I
me
guess."
out. Yeah, he just went deeper into the sand. He's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally fine.
But he's definitely like, oof.
I love the use of like the brass to be like, this is the bad guy, right? Like immediately.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe I'm a little bit excessive and over the top with it, but it felt like the brass is more of an industrialized instrument, if you will.
Oh yeah.
And so like they arrive on a fumes spewing helicopter.
Yeah.
Fern
Gully moment for us. Oh my god. No. Those are really cool ribbon things.
The mono.
Tied,
Yeah.
They're very cool.
Fabric soldiers, they're magically enchanted by the big bad. They're basically it's a wooden totem, and they enchant fabric to move around.
Do the limbs. Okay.
Oh, dang. Powerful.
That knife looks real. I like the textures. The cartoon versus realistic textures. Wah, 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 wah.
Well, now we have some conflict, so
Yes, of course.
we're gonna go save Dad, right?
Though there's far less, at least so far, maybe
No
it
animals
changes.
were
There's been
armed.
less combat in this by far than say maybe Breath of the Wild is the most immediate obvious comparison in terms of like what this game feels like while you're holding the controller.
Yeah, I feel like
Though it looks sort of like Wind Waker to me,
But-
too. That
Yeah.
I'm kind of playing in advance to know what I needed to do on the stream today. I've played about 3 hours or so. And I've probably entered combat 4 times only.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of other interesting stuff to do.
and there's
I
something
like
to be
the
said about like
concept.
you will never, and maybe I don't think this is really a spoiler, but you will never encounter combat that you did not mean to get into. You can see it and choose to engage with it or choose not to engage with it right now.
Yeah.
Yay for combat by consent. I like that. No random encounters by the mysteriously. So is this sort of diegetic? Because he's sort of over there.
Yeah, he's actually playing over there, right?
Oh, fun.
Okay,
Yeah, you can
cool.
go over and he'll be louder. You can look at his fingers moving and everything else. He's playing quite nicely. This is Roman is gonna crack up, but I feel like he was there with me the whole time trying to like. We had a weird problem where like this was not happening. Like him playing was not happening for the longest time, and it would just default to the generic music for this location. And finally, like literally like 2 weeks before we were sending out review code, it was working. Yes.
Wow.
So is it not
I mean, that happens.
hard-coded that he plays right here? It's like actually dynamic that it adjusts to account for his presence?
Spoilers. He's not always going to be here, and
Right.
he's not playing then.
Yeah.
And also, you may not always be playing the guitar, and when he's not, then you have other music playing. So you'll see that very shortly. So if you
Okay.
do what you need to do here, which is go find a couple of pearls.
Yeah. Do I have my compass yet? Hold on, I gotta move my mouse away.
don't.
I don't think I...
You can find them though. They're easy. They
Yeah,
see
yeah,
the little
we'll
glowy thing
figure
right
it
there.
out. Yeah. Let me just swim over to it with breathing. Breathing is better. And now we'll go.
Breathing is overrated. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You actually, the timer is a little bit generous here.
Not sure. No, it's that generous. Better swim fast.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
We were talking about spoilers.
No, it gives you a second, see?
With Andrew on my channel last week. And it interesting consensus. I remember
Here we go.
Kenjin and like Pete were saying kind of with me that it was like, I really don't care about spoilers most of the time. I rarely have the actual experience super diminished by learning something spoilery.
Oh, I'm so the opposite. I wish I were there last week.
Oh yeah, it was an interesting
I'm
conversation.
almost too much.
I've actually been like avoiding talking to Julianne lately because she's at
I'm
a
the
point
same.
in Final Fantasy XIV where I really am excited to talk with her about it once she does it, but absolutely not before, because like I can't undo accidentally saying something I shouldn't, right?
I know. I'll get there.
Let me.
Nice. Thanks, Dominic. Depends on the style guide, although many style guides do not understand that Twitch exists and like Twitch stream chats exist. But yes, something like that. As long as you got all that information in there.
I'm certified as an editor for like multiple style guides. That's the only reason that I had to make that comment. I'm constantly having to jump between them. Oh, pretty. It's purple. That's my daughter's favorite color. If you go, hey, what's your favorite color? She'll go purple.
Aww.
So shortly, if I don't know that I've unlocked it yet, but in another 5 or 10 minutes we will for sure. The ukulele is customizable. Tchia's outfits are all customizable.
Ah, yes.
Love a cosmetic.
We built so many cosmetics for this game. Like, there's no stat changes. It's just like you want to look cool.
That's my
You know.
favorite. I love just menus you can play around in. Oh, you were talking about this.
Look at this. We've got a wheel of chords.
Notice it's not in circle of fifths order. It's in like note order.
Yeah, it is. We built like basically like a chord gear shift in MIDI, so that the chords become the chords for this song, and the notes for this song.
This is amazing.
I actually didn't realize this was a rhythm game and thought you were just picking them. And I was like, this is pretty good. Pretty good choices from it.
There's free play mode as well.
Yeah, there's free play.
I figured.
Which is great. I mean, you built this great system. Why not have the ability to play around in it?
Wow, that's like such coding detail.
You notice I can strum up and down. It'll play a different sample as well.
Yeah, we can play around with the ukulele after the song, and it gives you full control then. So we can talk about that system if you want. It's a fun little thing.
I want to hear everything. We have the best resource possible.
I'm under the impression this took like almost a full year to get set the way it works now.
I mean, we were working on a lot of other stuff too, but it's an interesting process. Playing very nicely, sir.
Thank you. And to be clear, that wasn't me saying, oh, this took a long time and should not have. That's the amount of care to detail that, like, what amounts to a side event in the game, because this is largely optional, right? I can just click a button and Tchia will take over for me.
You've got
rules
audio dissolve with some non-diegetic underscore.
in the indie space.
Of course, you gotta bring in the orchestra occasionally, like let the and also like we've now like I felt like I was like writing music to be played by like a beginner soloist or something like that. So like we start up with like simple chords, and now we've heard him sing the melody a bunch. Now you get to play the melody with him, and
Yeah. Forget Hot Girl Summer, Cozy Gaming Summer.
Yeah, I was just typing that.
so now you've done it a bunch. Now you can just play the melody because you know what it's supposed to sound like. And also you can see the markers on the screen. A little bit of simple, like, how do we build up your confidence as we go along? 100%. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Good job.
Amazing.
Good
Ryan's
job.
like, of course, I'm the
Even
best.
though there's no winners and losers,
No.
you still did 100.
Oh, that looks delicious.
I
Hello.
want to eat that now.
One of the things
Yeah.
like very important to have is like examples of local cuisine. You know, what do you get? Some
Yeah.
fish and some rice and
About
citrus fruit.
every 5 minutes or so in the game, once you leave this little tiny island and arrive to the mainland, you can find a different food stand every 5-7 minutes you're playing, and they serve something different at every one. So there's like a lot of local food.
That refills your soul meter too. So, like, it's
That's
useful
right. So you can do the cool things. That's right.
because food is good for the soul. But anyway, I like this cue. The choir in the background.
Yeah.
It's funny. The choir is 4 people. We just like multi-tracked everything so many times. They did such a good job.
I can probably
Sounds
pin-
great.
Pin that, can't I? I can pin the message. That's the thing. I'm learning how to like use this channel after all these years. I did a poll last week, Julianne.
I will say, you were asked in this interview last week that, what advice do you have for new folks? And one of the pieces you gave that I think has been a consistent sign in all of the games that you've scored, John, is have at least one real soloist that's not a sampled instrument, and it makes absolutely everything else sound much better. And like,
It raises the bar of all the. Okay, that's.
and I was
that's
thinking
good-
about like the
yeah.
list of soloists you get to work with on a regular basis, and I was
Yeah.
like, he's got more than one. Like,
We had friends over a couple weekends ago, and I was pulling up all the game brass, like all of it. I was like, you guys need to see this.
oh, speaking of need to see this here.
You can change mode. There you go. Very good. Very good.
Look at the hand position.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the attention to detail that got the nerds going.
Hit the show tips button if you'd be so kind, and we can show like all the options.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
Oh, and you can bend. Ah.
Yeah.
we've got you can bend notes down and up. Accidentals are sharp or flat on the triggers. And then you basically, as we know, the first thing I realized was, okay, how do I do every chord possible? And it's like, okay, well, we need to simplify it just a little bit. We're going to eliminate 7 chords, no 7 chords. Everything is just a triad.
Right.
But we can go major, minor, augmented, diminished,
Yep.
and do it that way. And I
Nice.
basically thought of it as
Yeah.
it's a matrix, or it's a line, right? So diminished, minor, major, augmented, and the bumpers shift you one place to, one position left or right. So if you play C major, pressing the right bumper turns it into C augmented.
I see.
If you press, if you're going, if you go with the left bumper, it'll go from C major to C minor.
Yep.
And if you wanted to play, say for example, C diminished, you could accomplish that by playing B sharp diminished, which is a dumb solution, but enharmonics are our friends, and
Right.
so we can
Yeah.
technically
We love
play.
them.
When I was fiddling around just to play that first phrase of Answers, which is what came to mind. Again, I play too much Final Fantasy XIV and not enough anything else lately. I was like, how do I get B flat? Oh, I'm so angry. B flat's not on here in the way that because I didn't want the diminished chord, right? I need the major chord, and I'm like, oh, A sharp major is B flat major, right? Like,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, and it's you got to be a little bit creative, and you got to know your enharmonic chords, but you can play everything. And so we have picked individual notes, and then we have an upper octave option for those, and then we have strumming, and the strumming is down and up, different buttons, so you can alternate and make it sound honestly pretty darn realistic.
Yeah. We can do sing along.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Doing the Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
People have been like making recordings and posting those on Twitter and on TikTok for a few days now.
I figured
it's
but I
very
was
nice.
gonna ask, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, when did this officially come out?
This is
Last
last Tuesday.
week. Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, we've been out for a week and 2 days. So
Nice.
Oh, apparently we have a request to do C minor, A flat minor to C minor from Andrew.
Oh, come on.
Sure, next time I get my ukulele control, I can do that quickly.
I wanted to ruin the happiness.
So this is out for PlayStation 5 and Steam?
it is out for PlayStation
Epic
5
Games Store.
and 4 and Epic.
Yeah,
Epic.
Epic Game Store, so PC.
Yes.
Cool.
Andy asks how many samples for each strummed chord. I want to say about 7, I think. 7 up, 7 down, and then of course
Okay.
like, Fmod is doing slight, volume tweaks to them and stuff like that to like extra shuffles. It's all round robin. You'll never really notice it doesn't. You'll never hear it repeat, which is nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Ooh,
Been on this
no.
tower.
That's not good. We need...
Flat.
Yeah.
They might let you into preschool, Ryan.
Yeah.
You know
All
what?
this
I'm gonna
block
fail this,
stacking.
Dana. This is actually the hardest part of Tchia for me.
This
Is
is the
rock
hardest.
balancing.
It's the rock balancing. It does look pretty hard. It looks like you might. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Remember, if you don't like the rock you have, you can always just like dump it and then like delete it.
Pick a different.
Yeah. But also...
There it is.
Hold on.
So all the ukulele stuff is recorded by Gordon McGlattery, and I have a really nice tweet that he put out. Let's see, can I post a tweet link in here?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can't, you can DM
Brilliant.
one of Dana or
We're-
Julianne, and they will
I
ask
already
you. I
have.
forget if we
We're all
have.
good.
Okay.
Excellent. So that's like a link through to like some of the other stuff, but yeah, there's so much
Oh,
material.
sad.
It's like 3 hours and 42 minutes of audio.
I'm gonna retweet it. So cool.
We've been joking over on the Game Brass Discord that this is just Ukulele Simulator 2023, or Ukulele Contact Instrument 2023, with optional beach sounds.
Right,
So
optional game, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. You've already unlocked the ukulele, so you got everything you need now.
oh, did I finish it? Oh no, I'm not done with
A
my
little bit
rock
further.
challenge.
You
though.
got this. You got this.
Tapioca on my shirt.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
So sad. Worth it, but sad.
See the big old flat rock like that. There you go. There you go.
No,
I
come
remember
on,
watching
Tchia.
a streamer play this the other day, and just have a real, challenging time. Yeah!
Yes, there we go.
Really challenging time stacking these rocks. She was so excited, she turned around and knocked the entire stack over as soon as she finished it. It was just, she just minutes of just sitting there, mouth agape.
Amazing.
Yeah, I am not a good rock stacker.
It's okay, you'll get better. It's a skill. Now you have learned a new skill here.
That's right. The ukulele does cool magical things as well.
Soul melody.
Soul melodies.
So this one lets me change the time of day. There we go.
So now, if you don't go sit down right away,
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I can stand.
you'll hear. So what we were talking about before, he's not playing now. He's just chilling with his guitar. We can hear the normal music for this
Okay.
area, just kind of like a variation on Trey's theme, which is nice.
Yeah.
What?
Ooh, hold on 1 second. I know why I'm moving all the time. My controller is iffy. I'm gonna fix that. Hold on.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Dead zone.
Yeah, it's because it needs
But that's good because we can listen.
Yeah, take just a minute. I need to actually plug this thing in. Let me grab a cable.
All of the
I'm just giving
flutes
a
in this
little
thing are this incredibly inexpensive bamboo flute that I got ages ago. And
Nice.
if we wanted something that sounded like appropriately, there's a specific kind of Kanak flute that is used. That is open at both ends, and you kind of like have one hole here and your thumb over the other end, and it's almost like there's no real like you can change pitches like between like 3 different notes, and it's more of a rhythmic instrument. It's almost like flute beatboxing, if you will, flute boxing perhaps we could say.
Yeah.
But we wanted something with obviously a little bit more tonal that we could do more stuff with. Also, again, like I said, one live instrument makes a difference. And when I started this project, I couldn't play guitar or
Hold
ukulele
on,
or
Ryan.
anything.
Ryan, do the backwards cap.
Yeah, you
You're gonna do a
gotta-
cap.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, excellent.
So 90s.
But of course, you gotta have the right hair to go with the hat.
Oh,
Otherwise, the hair will
love
override the hat.
Well, the-
I love the way that the hair like bounces when you choose it too. It's such a cute detail.
okay,
Wow,
backpack's
you're really
fine.
able to deck out here.
It starts to really become like there's so many really snazzy like costume options that you just start dressing for what you're going to do. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I have to go here. I should dress like this. Or I'm on a mission where I have to infiltrate X, and I'm gonna put on my black hoodie and my red backpack with like cool and my cool shoes because those feel more like I'm breaking into something. I don't know. It's
Depending on what you're
Yeah.
doing. Definitely dress for the job you want.
exactly.
Vibe.
Right, so now, for instance, we're going to the mainland, so I've put on like city clothes, if you will.
Exactly.
Πανιτουπάθη δουλειά καθά του career part.
Wait, does she have heterochromia?
Yes. Or
Yes, for a specific reason, which we will see shortly.
Oh.
Didn't we see her eye change color in that opening cutscene where
We
her
did,
dad was
yes,
being taken?
yes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah. Her
Okay,
eye
okay.
flashed green, and then like that's how she sent the knife, Julianne. There's something happening there.
There's some
We have not
eyes-
gotten that
The power
gameplay
got
system
unlocked.
yet, because
Yeah.
now we have
It's
to add
not too bad of a
we have
trigger
to add
for
sailing
Dana.
first.
Yeah, Jordan Stokes in the chat saying that like the ukulele kind of being like the ocarina with the pitch bend, Ocarina of Time, ocarina with the pitch bends and stuff, but way more powerful. I think for any of us that grew up on it, which I did not, but for folks that grew up with ocarina, that this like unlocks a really powerful memory for people playing with that.
Yeah. Also, for
Yeah.
Pete Smucker, we will play Jenga, and I will probably lose. Yes, let's do it.
There's definitely like a lot of people have compared the ukulele system
Hey,
to
that's
like
you.
it is weird
Sorry.
weird how that is. A lot of people compare the ukulele system to like The Last of Us 2's guitar,
Yeah.
which is valid. I really like how that like functions with the touchpad
Yeah.
for strumming. But the funny thing is like we had this system like built and like shown in early versions at least on Twitter like back in January of 2018 or something like that, before we've ever seen any of the Last of Us 2 stuff. So, but yeah, the big thing that that I think was, at least for me, an inspiration for how the Girls game works is I'd worked on Wandersong before this, and so did a lot of the audio team, and like that uses a rotary stick to
radial
control
menu,
pitches. Yeah, radial menu basically for selecting notes. So that's very much kind of like the big inspiration was Wandersong's singing system. And if you ever played Wandersong, it's a lovely game, and you get to make me sing using that system.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's funny is my favorite memory related to Wandersong is actually almost has nothing to do with the game, except that you had the Bard as your VR chat avatar for VGM Together 1.
Yeah.
And I loved the scavenger hunt around the virtual Gaylord, in part because I really missed that space 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
That was really
Like,
fun.
Everything
That was
about
fun.
that event ruled, basically.
Yeah,
This was also just a
We were
side
so
note,
emotional
this was
after
a really
it.
cool prologue, by the way. I just really liked the cinematography, the music, the transition, the credits that happened with this transition to the mainland. I thought that was cool, so good for that.
This flute melody here, though it gets brassy and sinister towards the end of it, I got just the hint of like an Ennio Morricone like dual vibe for a split second there.
Yeah.
The ball.
There's maybe there's a hint of that. I guess I am a big Morricone fan. You know, sometimes things worm their way into my writing. But yeah, I wanted to have some kind of motif that was that had that a sort of mysterious but maybe sinister feel.
Yeah.
You know, and so that minor third kind of da 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 da, da 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 da. Like, you're gonna skip? Don't skip.
Oh, I was just gonna skip the long walk up the hill for the sake of time to get to cooler things on the stream.
But what if there's cool music that happens?
Walk up the hill, takes 2 seconds.
Okay.
But actually, what you can do here, if you want to talk about other things, so we don't have. If you walk over here to the right here, to that sign. So there is no spot on your map to tell you where you are. In fact, open your map if you'd be so kind, and then hit the "Where am I" button if you'd be so kind.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So Tchia says, I think I'm around here.
We can read the map. We happen to like be able to figure it out that we're here. It's not always so obvious, though.
Yeah.
But if you walk over to this sign and interact with the sign, we will mark ourselves very clearly. This is where we are. We now have oriented ourselves properly, which is really helpful for when you're getting around on some of the islands. Also, you can...
Bugged signpost.
I'm sorry. Well, also you can drop a pin on the map and then use that to guide you, which is, you know, very useful. But yes, we climb this mountain, we climb this big hill. But it's okay because when you get out at the end of this, the hill is your friend and it's very fun to do a thing. But yeah, wander in.
Yeah. This whole sequence is the only part of Tchia so far for me that felt very video gamey, but in like a fun fourth wall way almost. I love this.
Take a number.
Nice waiting room music.
Thank you.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez? Je dois parler
Si
à...
vous voulez. I understood that.
Vora?
I haven't been listening carefully enough.
Remplissez ça.
I heard Je parle. I was like, I'm Dominic now. I know French.
But see, yeah, like I said, now we're in French. It's got to deal with the bureaucracy. So
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why I understood it. Yeah. Sends me right back to my grad school language comps.
Ooh, yeehaw. Yeah, this is how it feels.
I have a lot of this coming up soon in my life, so
Did
rest
we
in
do this
peace.
Here we go.
Ah, voilà. Ça, c'est la liste des offrandes.
That's
Pour
also
tout le
how
monde
it
voter.
feels.
That's exactly how medical paperwork is.
Si vous voulez parler à mes Vora, voilà.
Hello, Arrow. It's good to see you.
Yay, natural.
All right, so we have this long quest to go do,
It's all Iron
and then
Maiden.
watch this here.
The woo. That was perfect. The eye roll.
The like vault elevator. Whoa.
It goes up. That's all. It's perfectly normal. Nothing weird about that.
No, nothing totally
It's fine.
supernatural about that at
It's
all.
all fine.
Everything is fine here.
Everything's fine.
Perfectly normal city. Now comes
What elevator?
Now it's the best part.
Now,
Do it,
now
do it,
the
do it,
hill
do it.
is awesome.
No. No, you're not doing it right.
You're doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong. Doing it wrong. Go back. Do it again. You gotta do the slide.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna slide.
What button do I hit for that?
B. You gotta hit B. The best part.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then when you hit this
Whoa,
this bump right here, yeah. There you go. That's the
Nice.
nonsense that we're here for.
Yes.
And then you jump and get your air after. Ah, yes. There. Just land on that head. Okay.
Hey,
So
look at
I've always
that,
been
Roma.
somebody that really appreciates like a lot of side quests and like stuff that's not necessary to the main plot. So like this game is tailor-made for me because I can imagine just opening it up to play the
Very,
ukulele.
very
and, like,
shortly, the game doesn't. I mean,
And,
I
like,
could play
exploring
ukulele right
around.
now, of course. But
Right.
the game is about to open up significantly.
Yeah,
Let's,
absolutely.
Start making our way over to the campfire first, though.
I'm gonna run over? No.
Thanks so much for the
People will
donation,
stop
Arrow.
here.
We're so
Don't-
People
excited
do
to
stop, okay.
support
They don't
Starlight
Run
again.
over children.
Yeah, don't run over children. This is a Starlight stream.
Right.
Oh,
we don't want
thank you
to.
for
We
the
don't want to make them need
donation.
Starlight services.
Yeah, speaking of which, Dana, do you have that link
I did.
from Facebook?
It's pinned.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, our pinned thing. So
Pins.
quick, most of you know because we did one in September for them. Starlight Children's Foundation is all about like improving long-term hospital stays for children. So they do things like they'll ask them what their favorite things are and they'll get it custom embroidered on a hospital gown so they don't have to just wear the hospital ones that they provide. They'll get their own. And they also do, and the reason they reach out to streamers is they do gaming initiatives. So they buy kids their own Nintendo Switches, and then they do like gaming carts with other consoles where they can roll them around to the pediatric wards. So they do some cool things. Oh, I love that comment from Roman Twerky that just 100% of this masterpiece. I adore it so much, and my biggest complaint is that I can't play it for the first time ever again.
Yeah. It's a-
I love a game that makes you
Solid.
feel like that.
Yep.
Also, sad to the person that finished the whole game without sliding.
Sliding's the best.
Though I will say, I was that way too, because I had done this, again, I've played about 3 hours of this on my laptop, and I did not know you could slide, so...
There you go.
There's
I love when that happens though. When there's
No,
so
me
many
too,
things
yeah.
to do that are not necessary that you realize you could have done or can do still in the world. It's so fun.
So,
Like-
this,
like-
for me, from
like
a
when people tell
gameplay
you-
perspective, is the coolness here.
Yes, now you are.
This is where we Mario Odyssey it, because you described there being a Mario Odyssey moment.
Yes, it's right here. I
are
am
we
now the
becoming
coconut.
this papaya or whatever? A coconut? Whatever. Oh. I don't know my fruit things. Oh. Uh-oh.
Brilliant.
He's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
She probably needed that to happen to him.
Got her out of that conversation.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
excuse.
A little save.
That's right. So
We all
now we
need
get to
that
practice
sometimes.
once.
Coconut, I can't make the joke.
I love we. Somehow you missed that.
How did I miss those bottles are physics interactable. I don't know how I missed there.
Yeah, I don't know how you missed him either. I've seen like half a dozen
La machin?
like folks like walk up and immediately like shoot that with their slingshot. It's like, oh man.
Her line is that puberty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Surely that's what happens for everyone, right?
That's
Not
girls just
possessed.
become
Okay.
superpowered, right?
I wish it had been like that.
Di khwasat la ejeweke. Ni Tchia na toa sati. Khwemeken toa kapala keche. Portik mimi avoa. Haje yange islaka. De angesa un la ite kutu.
I love her little drawings on the map. So cute.
One of the fun little touches is when we start the game, we have just a map of Uma, her little island that she starts on, and it's all hand drawn like with crayons, and that's her, and it stays that way. Like there's big question marks and like vague shapes for the other islands, and when you get here, you pick a map off the
Tourist
sign,
attraction booth. Yeah.
and that's your map now.
Mhm.
But we keep adding to it as you go along, and so now like that change of maps is nice.
Again, this is just that attention to detail means so much to me as a player.
Now we get-
I'm somebody that really like spends a lot of time just wandering in a world and examining things. So when that detail is there to be found, I just appreciate it so much more.
I also like that while she's like sailing here, this is the dad singing again, like what she's
Yeah.
thinking about while we're on the boat.
Yep.
This is the first piece of music that I wrote for the game. This is the main theme of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So you mentioned I think it's the Game Grooves interview, how one of the challenges here was kind of the musicological research into New Caledonian music. So I would love to kind of pick your brain a little bit about that, because we're all nerds for that sort of thing.
What would you like to know?
Okay, so when you met the team and you were tasked with this, kind of what was your first step?
Man, my first step was Phil had pointed me towards some other, like some Melanesian choral music, specifically some of the same sorts of stuff that was. If any of you are familiar with the film The Thin Red Line, it's a score by Hans Zimmer, but it also has a lot of, I want to say traditional, but like traditional like liturgical music used, introduced by Catholic priests, etc., into like these various like small Melanesian nations, like like here's this stuff, and like it is very much. Did you skip sequence ahead?
Oh, I loaded a save file that's at the top of that mountain,
Cool.
Looking down on the two vistas.
Fantastic. I just like looked away, and my brain was like, "Wait,
Sorry.
what, did I miss something?" No, it's okay. But like that
maybe,
was like.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go here first. So
Refill my drink, but I can still hear you while I'm doing
Right.
that. So.
But yeah, it was one of these things where like that was like my very first start, was like to look at some of the stuff that like he was referencing there, the specific kind of choral tradition. But then I went and did a huge deep dive into like learning about specific like music native to New Caledonia, and like there's a handful of more modern styles in play. Kanak music is very popular. It is almost takes cues from pop and rock and like reggae and stuff like that as well. But it's blending with basically there's a little bit of an interesting kind of let's call it like a pinch
I'll avoid
point.
the combat so you can keep talking for now. But there it is.
Fantastic. There's kind of a little bit of a pinch point as far as I can tell, and as far as I've been able to discover, because of course all the real musicological research that you can find is in French, and that makes it like a little bit challenging as a non-French speaker to kind of to dig through. But there's a bit of a pinch point in the 1920s and 30s where there's a lot of fun colonial stuff that happens, and they lose a lot of their historically like musical culture. It just goes. And what you're left with is a handful of traditions that remain, specifically revolving around ceremonial dance and like the pilu, which is something you get to participate in later on here, and various percussion instruments and rhythmic attributes related to that, and almost nothing else. There's potentially like stuff that is, because you look at other islands in the vicinity, they have these more diverse musical traditions, and we think that some of that stuff exists, but come the beginning of the 20th century, it just gets stamped out, and only a handful of things are allowed to kind of continue. And so it's like, well, what do I know and what can I pull from other places? And like, because we're dealing with a story here that has a lot of traditional elements, a lot of like kind of mystical things, a lot of like sort of fantastical things that feel like that they are harkening back to ages past, almost like I don't want to spoil too much, but like there's stuff here that feels like it is far older than any of the characters in the story potentially. And so it's like, well, we want to have things that feel like that, and so I took what I could find of like modern music. There is like very, like everywhere else, very guitar and drums and electric bass and stuff like that, and frequently then it really is only in like percussion instruments that things come out, and percussion rhythms and stuff. Specifically, like I said, I mentioned the pilu. There's a specific rhythm that you get in Pilu, in music that is influenced by that, which is this kind of a dotted A16th, or if you will, like a triplet, dut, 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 and you hear it very strong in the opening title music, which is one of the licensed tracks in the game. And I've tried to weave that throughout a lot of the stuff here. So like, as we were approaching that camp there, you can hear that kind of sound used as like an undercurrent for like the tension layer.
Sure.
And a lot of the songs I try to weave that sort of rhythmic figure in. And it's interesting and it's challenging because, hey, it's very much like a figure that exists in a 4-time feel or 2/4-time feel, and you're kind of locked into that. How trying to keep that and carry the elements that we do have and blend that with, the other stuff. Like, one of the things we didn't want to have the score sound like was like people were very afraid that or worried that it would just be like, oh yeah, it's just Moana the game.
Oh,
the music's
yeah.
like Moana, and like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want it to sound like Moana. Like, Moana has lovely music, it's great, but it doesn't sound, to me at least, particularly like the places it's supposed to be from.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do a much more authentic job, and part of that was having a handful of licensed pieces from wonderful bands and wonderful musicians and wonderful artists from New Caledonia that are like, these are great. These are songs that people from there know and love, and that Phil like grew up with and loves and wanted to incorporate into the game. And then the other stuff is me trying to like do things that feel like they are taking and pulling from that and from musical traditions, that are from there. And some of that is just instrumentation, bamboo flutes and guitars, and obviously like our protagonist here carries a ukulele, so there's a lot of ukulele in the score as well. There's a variety of like small hand percussion, like bamboo instruments used for percussion purposes. Like there's one of the, like, a bass instrument is like something that you see used, which is like a large hollow piece of bamboo that you pound on the ground, and it works like a bass pulse. And so I like incorporate that a lot of stuff. There's a few metallophones that are used here that are maybe not super common in New Caledonia, but in other countries nearby, that I'm like, we can bring this in here. Doing my best to kind of like make this stuff feel like it is authentic and true to the place. And at least like it's very reassuring when I hear like I admit I was very aware that like New Caledonia is a French country, and almost everyone on the team is either from New Caledonia or is at least French, and I'm the weird American here, living here. I'm here in the Midwest in the winter, in the snow, trying to write this music,
Right.
and I'm like, I want this to feel correct. I want this to feel like it belongs here, and I'm not like putting on. I hate to say this. I don't want to feel like I'm culturally appropriating anything or putting on some kind of like musical whitewashing of the score.
Sure.
Do it as much justice as I can, and so far, like, I feel like the response has been really good. People really seem to have resonated with it. Like, I did a lot of work. Like, from the very beginning, we were very, very keen on like, we want to have as many like choral elements as we can, and that proved to be a whole exciting process. But like, they came together well, and so like we have local voices singing in the correct languages with the correct good like texts that fit what's happening, etc. And like, you'll get to hear more of that like at key moments in the story.
So
all etc. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
no, do you have assistance with like how to set the text? Because I mean,
So
just
all
because
of the,
you're a classically trained person, I know you don't speak French, but you have limited exposure to it just being a music degreed person. But what about like the Drehu language? I'm assuming this was your first real encounter with that. How do
it absolutely was.
figure out? Do you have assistance for the text setting of this stuff?
So all of the lyrics were written by Marilu Lopez Aguilera, who is like one of like super like she worked on so many different elements of the project, but she was instrumental in like helping write the text both in French and in Dryhu for these songs, and as such, like we like usually I would sit down and write like melodies for things, and then we would come up with stuff. And usually what wound up happening was we wrote all the songs that you play in the game. We called the music sequences. So it was, so when I think of these things, I think of it as music sequence 1, music sequence 2. We've played.
Sure.
We've done music sequence 1 and music sequence 3 because they got moved around in the story a little bit. And so like I wrote the melodies for those, and she came up with words that would do the job, that felt good. It felt like appropriate for where we were in the story, for the character singing. And then it was a matter of like trying to set this to the text, or set the text to the notes in a way that felt good. I definitely spent a bit of time on like calls with Phil to like figure out like how to lay the text declamation in correctly so that it was like, so like it's one thing to have words that make sense. And yes, oh man, it's my favorite looking dish. It's all the food in this game looks great. Great food, beautiful skies, and amazing water.
Here because of not just the funny NPC line, but I like the ripped off half box of food.
Yeah.
Right? That's a nice touch as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's like we tore this out of a magazine. Like it's like the magazine cover for this recipe. But oh, where was I? But yeah, like definitely like sat down with Phil and like figured out like laying in the text in a way that the declamation felt good. Like that's one of the things that always scares me when it's like I can write stuff in English no problem, but boy do I know it when I'm singing something in English where the text declamation is bad. For everyone here who has no idea what I'm talking about as far as text declamation, it is when you're talking about like words and notes, like how the text lays in with the words. So if I said, "Good morning today, how are you?" Like that's nice, that sounds reasonable. But if I said, "Good morning today," that'd be weird. Like, or if I broke the rhythm up differently, "Good morning today." I can't try to think of a bad one, but I've heard sometimes you get stuff and it's like, this is really awkward. Nobody talks this way. It doesn't feel like speech. When you're writing words that are going to be sung, it needs to have a similar cadence to speech. And when the cadence feels about right and everything else falls in pretty good, like you're good. Sometimes you can intentionally have awkward text declamation. Yes, thank you.
Apparently, Katy Perry.
Sometimes you can have intentionally awkward text declamation, like Katy Perry. I hope that I'm giving him maybe the benefit of the doubt. But like, where you're just like, we're just gonna have like, sometimes you like, we can have like words that are spoken very staccato and awkwardly because that's the feel that we want to communicate. We can also have text that is like text painting, like, I climbed the hill till I could see. Well, it's rising. We're climbing the hill, etc. Things like that. And so like, it's like, I also like some dumb stuff like, if you listen to the music here, the melody for the mountains is all da 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 da. It's peaks and kind of like it goes up and down and up and down. It's nice. Not really that fancy, but it's just like, oh yeah. Let's do a little bit of musical painting
landscape
for the subject.
Landscape.
Love it.
But yeah.
So what's the happy little tree motif then? If you're
happy
painting. So I was like, what are you talking about? I'm a huge
we're doing a Bob
Ross
Ross
fan.
thing. We're doing a Bob Ross thing. That's good.
Right,
But yeah.
I thought I saw another bird, but alas, okay.
Yeah, I
Birds
share
are
a
the
birthday
best.
with Bob Ross, so he's always felt like a kindred spirit for me.
Bob Ross, always on your mind. Now you got to slide.
I'm still
flat.
He really likes he likes gliding instead.
It's okay. Fun fact. I feel like I shouldn't do this on stream because I might be claiming credit for something I didn't say. But I remember, and since Roman is here, we were like showing off like some of these bits later in the game where you're like moving through inside of a banyan tree, and there's some roots that like descend at a weird angle, and I thought, man, we should be able to just slide down that because that would be rad. And I mentioned that And Roman's like, yes, we need to do this. And I don't know, but I feel like the next time I saw the game, they had
You could
implemented
slide.
sliding.
Yeah, nice.
And
Nice.
suddenly we're like going up to mountains and sliding down I feel like, I don't know. Roman, did you do something where like maybe you added like little jumps at the end of like some of those mountains so you could get some extra air and then sail? Because it certainly felt like it. Movement just feels great. Get some good slides in. Anyway,
That's
Yeah,
when
the
you know
movement
it's on the
does
right
feel very
track,
good.
when you're like, it just feels good. And that's so hard to like quantify.
it's fine.
Tu veux quoi? Ah, on s'en fout pas mal. Tu veux savoir, je veux quoi, moi? Du crabe.
I mean, I guess
Purée
so.
pour du crabe.
Crab. Okay.
J'irais bien en chercher moi-même.
Whomst amongst
mais on
us
va plus
has
à
not
Congo à cause des gens
like
de
been
Onami.
willing to kill for
Ah, on a
crab.
rien contre eux, hein.
Right.
Mais eux, ils nous
Oh yeah, summer's coming up.
Apporte-moi
I
du
gotta
crabe.
go crabbing.
You're in a
Actually,
much
like-
better place to do that. Ohio's not known for like great crab.
I'm gonna go up and get some Cleveland crab.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
like, Michigan,
Fresh out of
Illinois,
the
Ohio,
river,
not
right?
exactly the crab part of the world here.
Delightful.
No, we do lake perch up here and walleye. That's like
Those look
That's what
so
we
good
do.
every time I see those.
Yeah.
right?
I don't even know what they're
Hungry
called.
again.
I flash back to going to a potluck with my Filipino friends and just like eating way too many delicious pork
Those are
egg rolls.
slightly
Sounds
too
like a
big
good
to be
potluck.
Filipino lumpia.
Yeah,
right?
they're not lumpia, but they make me want lumpia every time.
Yes, for sure.
I
There
was
was-
gonna say the close-ups of the food like give me anime vibes. You know how anime often has just like the cutaway shot of the most gorgeous food, and you're
Yes.
like,
Yes,
this wasn't
absolutely.
necessary, but they felt it was necessary to show this
It
to us.
certainly adds.
It'll be like in an anime that's not even about cooking or anything. It'll just be like, we have to see what they're eating.
The last time I went to California, I think it was actually for GameSound Con this fall. I had some time before the first day, and Joe Zizia met me for lunch, and we were trying to decide where to go, and I just saw this like restaurant with a box of Skyflakes above where you paid, and I was like, we're gonna eat there. It's like this cracker native to the Philippines, right? It's like the symbol of local Filipino food, and man, that was so good.
Nice.
Oh man.
Good.
Wait a minute, how
So
did I
you're,
get going?
you're,
the
fly, you're,
wrong
you're flying over
way?
it. You're flying over it.
Oh,
somewhere
it's 'cause
down
I'm
there.
here, right? I know how to play the game.
If I ever get introduced to Joe, like
Wait, you can
IRL,
poop?
I'm
Hold
just
on.
Yes,
gonna
you-
I'm
you
just gonna
can
go on
poop.
about how
Of course.
how
It's-
great he is at whistling.
Birds, they fly, they
I like
poop.
appreciate that almost more than being able to like pet the dog. Like, can you poop in this game? Is the Twitter account I would like to follow.
Where's this
Anyway,
crab
sorry
at?
for derailing. I was very excited.
Oh, I was just like fangirling again about the moment where we were playing the FF6 Pixel Remaster and we got to Shadow's theme and Ryan's like, wait, before we hear the one that they did, let's hear this cover
Josie.
with his incredible whistle, and then like nothing could match. Then we hear it in the game, we're like, oh, I guess I would have
Which is,
liked
like,
this if I
good,
hadn't heard
but,
that
like,
other one.
Yeah, it's ruined it. Thanks. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh my
Joe
god.
is good at ruining things for people. I just don't know.
Where? Okay, I'm gonna get this
But
trinket.
that's
'cause I
like the
need this
fangirl
too.
moment. I would just be like, your whistle is astonishing.
There's
It's
some
very
crabs
good.
around. Maybe look around. Then you turn around a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe they're here. Maybe they're behind you. Maybe they're a little more to the right.
Now wait, I heard something in the bass in the music just then. Is that a didgeridoo?
No.
Bass instrument?
So
There's a
the
droning
instruments that are-
sound.
the droning sound is me bowing my the low E string on my dad's old classical guitar, basically a nylon string guitar, and then
Nice.
running it through a whole bunch of weird effects, and that motif, that bowed low drone, shows up throughout the game.
Okay, yeah.
But the other thing you might be hearing, I think this one does it a little bit. There's a bass note that will show up occasionally from time to time. And that is there is a U bass, an instrument that I got is basically a baritone ukulele body rigged up as a bass guitar, but with rubber strings, and it has this incredibly big, warm, round tone. And so I definitely have used that for some of the stuff here. But yeah, the drone you're getting is definitely that like acoustic guitar, but bowed. I just wanted something that was a little bit different, had a little mystical quality to it. And so when you go to kind of, I want to call them like the more mystical places in the game, you get that element sort of starts to come in as a basis.
So is the one with the rubber band the one that's giving a lot of those overtones?
No, it is more like a deep throated boom kind of thing.
Oh, that's the bowl.
Yeah.
But the
yeah, that is the bowed guitar.
That's the bow guitar. Okay.
That's so cool.
We're gonna go get that stamina
Very,
fruit
very
and hopefully
neat. I
find a
love
crab
hearing
en route.
about like what is actually making these sounds instead of us just trying to do some like listening archaeology. It's really cool to actually hear. And I love that it's like your dad's. Like I don't like just that adds to it. You know.
It is wildly. It was missing a string, missing the third string, and it still is. I couldn't bring myself to replace it the entire game. You got him. You got a crab. Good job.
I did. Very good.
Yeah.
Bring back the crab.
Yes. Well,
so
now
crabby
that we
now.
have like the big stamina fruit, you got to play the video game part of it too, right? We got.
Yeah, you got to pick up all the stuff. I was trying to test the game in the weeks before we shipped it, and I just kept getting pulled off course constantly by stamina fruit, by like
like what's
extra
that
little
green
challenges.
thing over there, right? Like
Yeah.
Gotta go, gotta check it out, and it's like
yeah, that's so fun.
wind up and pitch. Beautiful.
The tree flinging does not get old. I also very much appreciate that once you're at the top, it refills your stamina, which actually does make this useful and usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can pick up any animal. You can pocket a surprising number of animals that you would not think you can pocket.
I said in the chat when Ryan was holding up the bird in the water, its little feet were kicking.
Yeah.
My girlfriend played the game for the first time and immediately put a cat in her bag, and then immediately put a fish in her bag, and I'm just like, this is not going to end well.
Are they gonna work together in there?
You've learned how to rock surf, the best get like navigation method in the game.
Rock surfing. Whoa.
Yeah, that's
It's like shield
absolutely the way to
surfing,
go.
but way better.
You can pet all the animals.
You can pet every animal in
You
the
can
game.
pet
yes.
every
It's-
animal.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that. I love like because sometimes there's weird animals in games and you can't pet them because they're not like the dogs or the cats, and I'm like I kind of want to pet.
You can pet the giant centipedes in this game. You can pet
Nice.
the grasshoppers.
Okay, I appreciate that a lot.
Pet every single animal.
Acceptability and diversity. Oh man.
Yeah, the animals are never hostile. There's no hostile animals. Just sharks, dolphins. They're fine. No, they're all good.
That's nice.
Dead chicken.
Because they're gonna be cool, for the most part. It's like they're only gonna mess with you if you mess with them.
We're gonna get the dead chicken. That's what we're here in Wele Wele to do.
Oh, cool.
So you just wait here.
Winner.
First of all, though,
Chicken dinner?
Yeah.
this person needs their crab, so they quit being a crab.
Nice.
Gabby, she gets hungry. I mean, she loves crab. Look at her shirt.
I
Yeah,
want
she's
a crab,
crab
honestly.
lady. I want crab. I want all the food that we've seen.
I got brilliant, like it was canned, but like really good lump crab meat right after New Year. And I did a dish from my Indian cookbook that I'm cooking my way through, and it was unbelievable.
I need to buy that cookbook
Oh my gosh, I'll send you the link.
because everything
get
you
to
cook
make
from
the
there, I'm
food,
like,
see?
yep, that's
I'll
what
post
I
it
want.
in chat. So when I went to London with my parents in 2018, the best meal that we had two best meals, but one of them was a place called Dishoom, and there's a couple locations around London. And I bought the cookbook, and I've been cooking my way through it as a New Year's resolution, and every single recipe has been a banger. Like there's been nothing I won't make again and again.
Putting that on my little wish
Yeah, see,
list that I
we
have.
have chicken. I can get you a chicken tomorrow. I want to eat
I like
these.
I like the roll. This is like
I
cooking
want
mama
these
vibes
too.
here.
There's something
Yeah.
like
Cooking mama back
very
in the day.
attractive to me about the sound of something going into oil. By the way, like that's a good
Oh
sound.
my god, I know. It's like a trigger, like a good trigger, you know? Like I just.
But yeah, Dishoom's amazing, especially if you have an Indian grocery store where you can kind of get some of the spices and things. Like really, once you have some of those built up in your
Yeah.
collection, then a lot of it is very simple ingredients. It looks intimidating because you'll see this recipe column, the ingredients that seems really long, and then you look at it, and it's like actually not that bad.
Yeah.
We have a really good Indian grocery store near us, so they know when I walk
Got
in.
a jam. Whoa, it's like line dance, like square dancing and polka-ish and
That's the song of my people right there, polka.
This is also the one where like the entire French team like sang on, so you can hear them as the townsfolk.
oh, cool.
That's a challenging part there for Ryan.
Yeah,
Was the
it's
cow
like-
dancing or was that just me
I like
That was
watching
inside.
dance.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
kind of bopping his head?
Pass me a beer. Grab a skewer, take over sandals, and come. Party.
That's a good vibe there.
You got this. I believe in you.
I want to go to this place right now. I want to play the oil drum.
I remember once hanging out with a bunch of very cool people in a MagFest suite, and a lot of people had had instruments with them. Like Doug Perry had an electric marimba along somehow, and
Amazing.
a couple people had guitars, and like some of us, like, I'm primarily a vocalist, right? I don't carry an instrument with me to MagFest. And Doug was like, whenever you're a musician, get out something. And so like, I got out my car keys and started clicking it on the table, and like,
I know, like, yeah.
That's
I
legit,
love
right?
The vibe of just like whatever you got around.
Play the spoons, yeah.
Right, like that guy with the washboard on the left, the camera
Yeah.
was cut to,
Washboard.
right? Just get something and bang it, right? It's
Bravo,
not about
bravo.
being
Your
good.
voice, yeah.
It's about like hanging out with your cool people here.
98%.
That is good enough, it turns out.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll let it slide because you were talking while you were doing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah,
Very
Attends,
difficult.
elle est
definitely
pas
recommend Dishoom. The other place that was the best when we were in London, it was a swanky like breakfast place called the Duck and Waffle.
The duck and what's most.
Ooh, that sounds
distinct.
delicious.
Right,
Yeah, it
and
sounds
it
excellent.
was in this high rise, so you got to like have a beautiful view of the city. Like, and we had, I think our reservation was at 7 a.m. and it was so worth it.
Yeah.
They do like a confit, like fried confit and then fried duck, and they put it on a waffle. So it's got like a chicken and waffles vibe, but it's like
Yeah.
fancied
Like-
up, and that's their signature dish.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
And they
I
also
got
have a
bunch of cool
cookbook.
stuff now.
I got it for my
But
dad for Christmas, but I
We
don't have
to
my
go
own
to,
copy.
where's Gutu?
Oh God, now it's like I'm not hungry, but I want to eat. I want to have all these eating experiences that we've been talking about. Oh,
We got to
man.
do more conferences together. Ryan and I always eat beautifully at conferences. We find like the best restaurants.
It's true. The two of us have an excellent habit of finding tremendous food.
Like when we were in San Francisco for GDC. Oh,
Yeah.
food.
I found out that restaurant is no longer there. The restaurant at the museum on top of the Moscone Center.
it was so good.
Yeah.
And then we went down to that little like Russian tea room dessert place.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about. Is it
It was also on top of the Moscone
is
Center.
it like the Yerba Buena like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good food to be had there.
So good. Yeah,
Leave Willy
most
Willy.
of the time I like when I think of memories of like going to musicology conferences, I think about the meal I ate in whatever city I'm in.
Oh yeah.
I actually,
Don't
for
worry
the sake
about
of
any of the
efficiency,
panels.
might turn
just the
this
meal.
way.
I'll be like, oh, the year that AMS was in Vancouver. I'm like, the main memories I have from that are everybody making fun of me because it was Chicago versus Cleveland in the World Series. And so everyone was like, I hope Chicago wins. I'm like, thanks for that.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean,
And then secondly, I remember getting
They already
poutine with
won
Neil
it by
Lerner.
that point, but anyway.
We got excellent poutine, Neil Lerner and I, and it was, and
delightful.
we were just like talking about my dissertation. It was awesome.
I remember. Let's borrow this rock here. I remember.
I had a terrible time at that conference.
Absolutely
but that's
having a
separate story.
blast at that conference. And I felt very bad because as part of me and Dana's we find good food together tradition, I
want to
asked
make
her-
sure I just say right now that I wasn't talking with you guys at that conference. When I say I had a terrible time, it wasn't.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
with you. People might think that we were all together, and I'm
No.
saying I had a terrible. No, we weren't really. I don't
I
think.
hung out. Well, Ryan and I split a gorgeous, like, high-rise apartment
that
Airbnb
place was like
at that
a $10
conference.
million apartment. And
It was unbelievable, and
I
we
remember
were like
that, yeah.
overlooking the conference hotel because we were so high up.
Yeah, that was the best Airbnb and the only time I've ever truly had good luck, frankly,
Yeah.
with Airbnb.
Yeah, that was really fun.
was
You were
that.
gonna say about food, Ryan?
Oh, yes. I got my favorite food that I cannot get here. Where'd that bird go? Hold on, bird.
There you go.
There we go. And it's really great clam chowder. And I remember I felt terrible. I passed you my first spoonful of it. I was like, you have to try this before me. And I, like, burned you pretty badly. I felt like having you...
I'm laughing at both the poop mechanic and the
I love it
and the
so
burn.
much.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. I just couldn't taste the rest of the food. I mean, it was good clam chowder.
All right. This
I do
tree
love
in
good clam
particular-
chowder.
Oh God, I love a good clam chowder.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me like about Vancouver being like you not sure
That
you
was
were
a
gonna
good-
stay in the field moment,
Oh,
which we all
yeah.
have.
We all have met sometimes many times.
Well, and I
Sometimes
think
enough
you
to
know.
really quit, or to some degree. I mean, quitting also. Some people think that just not being a professor is quitting, which is not true.
Right. Folks like
Right.
me that didn't go on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although you are a professor.
I will
That's
say
true.
that the two professions I have found that support each other by far the most is everybody in the game audio industry I have met. To a person, every single person I have met has been very, very cool and supportive of all
Mm-hmm.
the other people who do this type of work. You go to Game Sound Con and like
It's
you're
such
with your
beautiful
people,
energy.
right?
Allow me to interject for just a second here. So
Yeah,
where you
please.
are right now is another one of these places that is very much based on a real place. This is this very specifically heart-shaped mangrove swamp,
Oh.
which has like this weird stone in the middle of it. I don't know exactly all the details of this, but you should be up to the north here, way up to
Oh
the
wait,
north.
yeah, sorry, yes. I know it's here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a real place you can
Oh,
really go
cool.
to if you want to, or at least look at pictures of. But you can see it from the air a lot better when you if you were to say purloin a bird.
Yeah, let me see if I can't track one down actually.
Purloin.
Oh,
Purloin
there's also
bird.
a stamina fruit over there, isn't there?
Yeah, we'll go get this fruit and then try to find a bird. Because I did that when I played actually and really enjoyed it.
And this is
Borrow
a
a
really
bird.
cool track, by the way, too, that we're hearing.
This one is fun because like it is. This is actually like made out of a whole lot of so. The choir was wonderful, but they did not read music, and so that meant that I had to basically go and record every single part for everyone myself with my bad French and or Drahu, and send those over as audio files, and they kind of learned them. But they also improvised a heck of a lot.
Mhm.
And basically, this is built out of like they try a lot of things, and some of them would work, some of them wouldn't work. This is a track that I built out of like all the cast-offs of a whole bunch of other tracks, and it was just like,
Cool.
and then I like laid in this like pulse and like
Yeah.
this kind of like dream-like flute stuff.
I was gonna
and it
say it
just-
has this like serendipitous, like
Come on.
improvised feel to it.
It was just such a really nice vibe that I'm like, this is gorgeous. I just want to like live in this weird zone
Yeah.
for a while. And
I could
this
listen to this for 10 hours. Like, I want the long version of this, yeah.
Tchia beats to work/study too.
Yes! Release
Well,
the
Here we go.
that's very good. Now you're off. Fly up, and you can see the whole heart.
Oh, look at that.
Possess and poop as the two, like, options. I just love that so much, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
As you fly away, it'll.
Julian,
fade
it's
out.
okay to have simple tastes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
Ain't
track.
nothing
I don't
wrong
know.
with that.
It's so weird, and it is absolutely just like a serendipitous thing. It's like we just happen to have all these like little bits that they did from tracks that were in the same key, sort of. And I basically assembled them out of pieces. They were not intended to go together, but it was such a nice vibe, and like spreading them out across like the stereo image field, like so you feel like you're surrounded by people just vibing, and it was really nice. So. That's it. I like it. I'm glad we did it, and I had no idea where to use it in the game. And I think it was Roman who suggested, like, I think I found the place, and it was there, in the middle of that heart-shaped mangrove. And I'm like, that's the one. That's the one. And so it's just a very interesting little place you can go to, much like Gutu, which we're going to get to shortly.
Yeah, I'm on my way over there now to talk with Louise, I think is her name.
Yep.
We have to get our chicken, right? We have
Yeah,
to
on the
eventually
like
accomplish the task.
on the existential crisis academia moments, like I definitely use myself as a success story in terms of like deciding I wasn't gonna go on the tenure track market and you know, the complex reasons going into that, but a lot of it was just I wanted more control over where I ended up geographically. I didn't want to be thrown across the country from family, you know. I had good
Exactly.
I had good gigging connections back here, so I kind of wanted to move home just so I could like get back into that. I made more money up here than I did elsewhere, even though like the gigs were technically more per like hour. I just get more gigs up here because I have more relationships. So, you know, I made a lot of those. But, you know, as you all know, because I've said it, it was hard to do. It's really hard to say in academia, I don't think I want to do the thing that you're all kind of pathing me to do, because then you feel like you're either ungrateful or a failure. So it's not to say I didn't have to work through that, but I just had to really like pursue it and just, you know, work, and eventually I was just telling Joe recently, I feel like we've in the past couple months have hit a really nice balance with like the parenting, the workload, like just everything feels good right now. I know the medical stuff has been a disaster for us, but other than that, like I'm feeling really good day to day. And there have been points where I did not feel that. So
Yeah.
You're in the right place.
Yeah, I just gotta find Louise here.
There's so many paths within, like when you get a PhD, there's actually so many paths that work for different people and are still in academia. Like it's not like you've quit. And even if you do like completely disengage with the academia, it's still like completely valid, and often like the skills that you do gain in a PhD are useful to people. Like they make you think like they'll never be, that you're so specialized, but in the process of your specialization, you learn a lot, and it's sort of about marketing yourself, too.
I like that the cutscene reflect my custom ukulele, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, I like when cutscenes are custom.
It's like in The Witcher, how he'll be wearing whatever like armor you have Geralt in the cutscene.
I think I remembered the first time that like it feels almost wrong to talk about this like in context of this game, but like especially this sweet moment, but playing the very first Uncharted game and having like Nate Drake suddenly have the wrong weapons equipped for the cutscene. Like that's not what he had. Why does he have that? And it bothered me so much. You know, so whenever I see that cutscene clothing and gear and stuff is reflected, or game gear is reflected in cutscenes, it's always nice.
Yeah.
Ryan,
I love that you can play along.
Ryan's hitting the
melody.
notes even when he's not being prompted. He's learned the melody well enough. Just calling attention to that.
Yeah, I love you can improvise on top of it.
Yeah, and it's not taking points away or something like that.
No penalization.
Yeah. For like doing your own thing a little bit. Or
Oh,
between
very
them.
nice. Nice little scale there. I like it.
Nasty. Can you imagine if it was suddenly was trombone?
Oh my
jam?
gosh. I downloaded, so I finally got Trombone Champ a few weeks ago. It was like my spring break thing. And I downloaded custom levels. I spent a long time getting custom levels. So I have over 100.
Oh my god.
And it has been
So many.
amazing.
There's so
Also
many good-
because
there's so many really good
because
ones.
Josephine's into it. She'll like hit the space bar to like do the hits.
No, it's so cute. I would watch a video of that. Just
I have
FYI.
photos, but yeah, I didn't get a video. I was laughing too hard.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, again, you can improvise. You can add that. Louise is going to sing that scalar passage up, right? So you can just do it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The one big thing, Roman brings this up here. We were afraid they were going to be too hard. And like I definitely tweaked some of them to make them easier after the initial version, like because there's no way to test these for the longest time. So I'm just like guessing what it would feel like to press buttons and move the stick in the appropriate direction as I'm designing them. And at the end, like we simplified a few things or added a few things here and there to make it a bit more interesting.
Was that mostly like adding or taking away like node events that were triggered?
Sometimes, yeah. Like some of them were just like you had to press the button slightly too fast, and that was like actually hard to read. Also, like if you notice the system that we have, like
Should we
if the
fly
nodes are too
out
close.
here or just go back and do the event?
Well, what are your requirements? Look at your objectives. So you gotta get
You gotta get the
trinkets. You have
chicken.
You have to get the chicken egg. You got a tooth fragment. You got a trophy.
Yeah, I want to
but you
visit
don't.
the other town. We'll skip the island, I think.
Okay. Yeah, Gutu is cool, but you'll maybe go there later anyway, depending on how many times you do this. But
Plus, when
yeah.
all of you who are watching right now later buy this for yourselves and play,
Yeah.
we will have to leave some stuff unexplored here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I spent like 300 hours in Breath of the Wild 1, so having a landscape like this to just wander.
It's true. There's a lot.
Very
It's
much
like
my vibe.
still quite welcoming.
I know we keep making that comparison. It's hard not to with the.
When
Yep.
you see the,
It's I mean, it has a certain vibe to that. Like the biggest thing is like just the climbing, and having. In fact, you can scale any wall, and you have a stamina meter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about where it ends, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the comparison
there's
I've not
grass.
seen enough in the press
Like that's it. Like,
is this is part of the vision that a different Zelda game sort of promised you and then did not give you, and that is Wind Waker is not nearly as open-ended and exploring heavy as the lead-up and media to Wind Waker
Right.
sold us on some 20 years ago.
Julian
to
was saying
mention
the
the whole
art
island
style in the
environment,
beginning
right?
kind of gave that vibe.
I just
Yeah, we
really
have
like.
some-
You noticed again, I saw combat down there. I don't feel like doing that right now, and so I don't have to. Right?
have we fought anything yet?
I did
Yeah, he
fight
took
one
out
group
one
of
camp.
fabric folks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The way
I-
combat works for those segments is you possess a fire-making object and you soul fling it at the fabric people and they die.
Or
Oh,
you
and
can
you burn
pick
the
up
fabric.
like flammable objects and throw them as well. If you don't have any
Yeah.
soul juice left, you can just pick stuff up and chuck it. You can
How do
also
you restore your soul juice by eating?
You eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
it'll regen to like half usually.
Seems right.
So you're never without it, so you can always get
Look
around.
at that
But
view.
it's better to eat stuff. It's also possible to just like put food in your pockets and just chow down, and regenerate your health that, or regenerate your soul juice that way. Your soul meter, your soul stamina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, good shout.
Yes. All right. We'll just fly here. And oh wait. Oh no.
You can also fly towards the bird, and then
Yes,
switch to
but-
the other mode when you get close.
The bird is too fast. Alas.
Dang it.
Yeah. We must do this.
But stop. Yes. Okay. Slide. Slide, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like, oh, dear.
I did see the deer, and we haven't actually possessed a non-bird animal yet. Is it still around?
I mean, they don't
Deer.
despawn.
We get deer in our backyard because they come
Yeah,
up
but
out of the metro parks.
how far did I shoot past it? Here it is. Here it is.
Just like park my car and be like, oh, there's deer right there.
Sure, it's fine.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
And the deer can sprint, which I knew. 'Cause
Oh,
there-
it's so cute.
there are specific like racetrack events, mini games for the deer.
Whoa, there you go. Look at that launch.
The movement here,
Amazing.
yeah, I cannot emphasize how good it feels just as the ludic player side of it. This is one of the better character controllers I have come across in terms of game design and the other coursework I teach. It's just excellent all around.
Like I said, it feels like you remember when you were a kid and had boundless energy. You could just
Yeah.
run.
Tu voulais un poulet mort, c'est ça?
Wow.
Ouais, il reste
Good.
vivant.
The little spurt. That's
The
that
other
is
cheeses are just like, this
that's
is
a
fine.
that's a
I
vibe.
love the musical comedy element there as well.
Had to make it a little funny.
Pourquoi tu me
Oh,
montres un
so
peu tes
cute.
aventures? Essaye-le.
All right.
You take a picture.
Yes. What button is the camera?
How button is the camera?
I should remember this. I think it's one of the D-pad buttons, right?
How
Yeah,
button?
it's D-pad left. There it is.
Okay.
The camera
these
is
things like
also like a lot of things in this
that little
game.
battery.
It's
There's a battery. There's that's
that-
film. That's
again
right.
like a lot of things
film.
for the mechanics of this. I will
That's so
say
cute.
better than it needs to be, but in like the most complimentary way of what that means. Let's zoom in a little bit here. There we go.
Don't worry, I'm not making a poll for chat based on chickens.
Do it. Don't worry.
Tchia, tu reviendras? Prends plein de photos.
There's one more thing you should do here before you leave.
I have to get my egg, right?
You gotta get an egg. So how would you get an egg?
This actually took me a long time, like an embarrassingly long time to figure out when I was playing. But let's eat some more of these not
food.
lumpia
Delicious.
things. Yeah. Man, I'm hungry now. Like, it's almost 11 o'clock. I don't need to eat. But,
I
let's...
literally scrambled to get here after making dinner and like scarfed it down way too fast. I don't know. I feel like I ate before I had a chance to feel, I don't know, full. Anyway,
We did barbecue
There you go,
chicken
good job.
sliders.
There we go.
That is that an egg that you just laid? What?
It's unstable.
It's unstable egg.
unstable. It's fine. You can stow it though.
That's right. It's
Is
fine.
that,
Just
is
like
that
me.
chicken okay? It's just an unstable egg.
I just must
Egg
have all the
yourself.
braided trinkets. All right.
Can I offer you a
let's,
nice unstable egg in this trying time?
In this trying unstable time.
I use that
Shit.
GIF all the time.
It's very that and the. So I just started blasting. That's the other one.
I just started blasting.
Yeah,
anyway.
when the Vanderpump Rules drama came out, the cheating drama, I don't know who's a reality TV fan. I don't watch it, but I have a friend who's like, that's her huge guilty pleasure. So I was like, I heard about Vanderpump, and then I sent her the Danny DeVito, can I offer you a nice egg?
Excellent.
She appreciated it.
I really like. I'm going too fast to do this. Hold on.
You are. You are.
What is happening?
Come on. Ah!
A little quick, sir. A little quick.
Yeah, here, let's
Set a more
Slow
moderate
down
pace.
and enjoy the vibes.
I like
If somebody,
that the river
if somebody in
exists
chat
and you
hasn't
can sail
watched
down it,
Arrested
though.
Development, every member of the family does their own like chicken sound, and none of them are cluck cluck. They're all unique to the character. So Job is caw caw caw, and Lindsay is cha chi, and then Lucille is a coodle doodle doo,
So not chickens. Never mind. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
and then George is cuckoo cha. And then Michael, of course, goes, "Has anyone in this family ever seen a chicken?"
No.
There's one of your racing challenges.
I love those. Those are fun.
Yeah.
I like the music that goes with them too, but I may be biased.
Oh, I forgot there's custom music. Do I need the boat to do this one, or is it an animal possession thing?
It will spawn whatever you need. So if you go
Okay.
to it, it will teleport it to you or turn you into it or whatever is required.
Sure, yeah, let's check it out here.
Yeah,
Since
and I
it's a
think
buoy, it should be a sailing one. I
to
think.
be
Yeah,
clear, like
probably
when we're
so.
making like Zelda comparisons, it's just purely for the sake of like relating it to anything we've played in the past. But like the love that went
It's our link to the
into
past, indeed.
every detail of this is what sets this
This
apart
is-
from anything else.
More,
Ooh.
is this metallophone vibes? I can't
There's
concentrate hard enough while I'm racing.
There's marimba. Yeah.
Marimba, okay.
I was like, metallophone?
Is it Doug?
No, it's
No.
I hope it's just marimba.
it is sampled in this case.
We watch Marimba Mondays
Oh, I love the
with my
string.
2-year-old. She's like really into the sound of the marimba, so when Doug streams, we'll put it on and she'll like get up and dance.
Ooh, the brands.
And I'll send Doug little videos. I'll be like, just
Please
stream
send
Doug
me
your
those
stream
videos
tonight.
too, if you would so. I need more gist.
We are
videos
going
in
at
there.
maximum speed here.
Oh, I like this like sort of almost jig-like.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean moment.
Yeah, it's the sea race. So you're
Yeah.
like, oh, wow, cutting the corner.
Jaunty.
What? Sorry, so much louder than I
Cheater.
intended.
No!
Oh no!
Uh,
Oh gosh! Go.
Maybe I can.
You just hit it.
Oh! Cutting a corner. Oh!
What? I'm not angry. Okay,
Ryan
let's.
cutting corners Thompson.
Pete,
I mean, not
Pete,
totally
hear me
true
out, though,
game,
Pete,
but
before
Links
you
to the
leave.
Past, we had that happen too. So.
Before you leave, Pete, what if you didn't teach Schoenberg and instead you taught this?
Yeah, you could get all the same concepts. Honestly.
Just whip out the ukulele.
Sometimes my like extremely classical music class, I'll bring in like I'm like in this other class I'm teaching fun stuff, so you get to have some of this too today because I'm bored. I don't want to do Mozart K333 again for the millionth time.
Oh my gosh, K333. Yep.
That's the E old B flat.
See, I was
Yield.
really excited on the flip side that I got to do classical music with my game students today.
I do like the opposite sometimes as well.
We're talking about Will Gibbons's like gamifying classical music,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I love
and
that.
classifying
Those two
game
chapters,
music,
too.
and
Yeah.
weirdly, like Frédéric Chopin has been a video game protagonist 3 times over now, and Beethoven
I
has
know,
never
it's
been a video
so
game
funny.
protagonist.
I know, it's like,
And
what?
so I started
But hasn't
class.
he been an antagonist? Or am I misremembering wrong?
Chopin being an well,
Has
No, I mean,
Beethoven been an antagonist?
oh, Beethoven.
Isn't he an antagonist in? This is like a deep cut.
I'm
If I
excited.
But in
Deep
Dragon's
cut,
Quest
okay.
2, is he not
Wait.
an antagonist?
Oh, I think there is a Beethoven reference in one of the early Dragon Quest games. Is it the second one?
Ah.
What?
Yeah, that's what I think. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know any of the Dragon Quest really. Like,
wait, no, not
in
Dragon
any
Quest, not Dragon
meaningful
Quest.
way.
Sorry. Dragon's Lair 2. The what's it
Oh,
called? The Don
I
Bluth
also-
Laserdisc.
That's
Dragon-
I
Dana's
haven't.
realm.
Spoiler alert! I just wrote a chapter on the first one, but I haven't played the second one yet.
Oh, look at that! I type out Dragon's Lair and it knows Dragon's Lair 2 Beethoven. There it is. Yes.
Oh my goodness!
You get okay. So technically, he is an unrelated character. You go in time and become miniaturized somehow in the process. and Beethoven's cat attempts to eat you while he composes his Fifth Symphony. Anyway, that is what happens in Dragon's Lair too.
Yeah,
So,
Dragon's
sorry.
Lair.
So Beethoven, not actually a villain. His cat, definitely a villain.
Fantastic.
Sorry,
But,
your deep music history cut.
That's
No,
amazing.
that's
Because I literally
excellent.
just did a huge chapter on the first game for my book coming out at the end of April on
We're gonna go to
intersections
this
of video
village,
games,
do
music, and
this
animation.
segment with the villagers, by the way, and then we'll probably end the stream about 5 minutes
Excellent.
after we get our
Oh my
thing
gosh, it's already
from this
10:50.
village.
Time
flies.
flies! Oh my goodness.
Birds
Also,
fly
Tchia flies.
while you're having fun.
Time poops!
Oh no, you can't get going fast enough here. It's not enough of a slope.
Oh, sorry I couldn't convince you,
Right.
Pete. It's all right.
Trying to
Schoenberg's
make
fine.
Pete make bad
Anyway,
decisions.
still teaching Sherman. That's my Pete.
Welcome to Hunami.
Inviting Pete to make bad decisions could be the title of this stream, honestly.
That's true. We're like Florida man. Be a Florida man.
Florida man, Florida man, Florida man.
So the other competing village, you'll notice this is the village that, quote, hates
Yeah.
the Willy Willy folks, right?
I feel like this is actually Phil. I think he's voicing this character.
Oh, nice.
I could be wrong.
I can't hate on teaching canonic anything because we did Joseph Strauss's late style article, like the famous. So for that one, we looked at all the canonic
Are the
composers.
pearls out here somewhere?
Pearls are in the water, so you gotta go to the water.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if y'all even if you don't do disability studies, like a landmark article that is definitely worth everybody's time is Joseph Strauss's work on I think it's just called Thoughts on Late Style. Maybe that's the Said. It's an incredible piece where he's noting that like we talk about composers having a late style and we usually mean it to mean like the music they wrote right before they died. But then it also gets conflated with old age generally, or like this kind of like you've lived a long life and you have this foreknowledge of death. But what if it was actually because the composer was dealing with an acquired disability? Because he points to somebody like Mozart
Thinking of
having a
Bolero
late style at 33, right? Like 33 is a little young to say like old age. So, or
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, that's
Schubert,
sad.
like
I have
his
a
late
feeling
style starts at 29. So it sort of reframes it in terms of disability, but then it also puts the shift on and focuses on the music and the way that we treat music itself as a body. And this is a theme of his broader work. And so people talk about, you know, symmetry and balance and fragmentation, all these things, and they often have these really obvious metaphors to the human body. It's such a good article. Everyone read it. My disability class just read it.
I
Obviously,
like this underwater, like, low pace music. For the slower, kind of less kinetic activity here.
Yeah.
It is weirdly maximum earworm for me. I just keep hearing it in my head over and over again, which is problematic when I need to be writing new music. But but yeah, it is. It's chill. I like it. You know. And I realized I was gonna say this might be a place where making it daytime might help you find them easier, or at least find bits of coral where you could find it easier, or become a fish.
Man, I forgot to vote in the poll.
The fish has the little flower in the hair. Ah.
It's rapidly becoming daytime enough, I think.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
The
I
fish has
always
flower in its hair. Sorry.
I always find it weird for some reason to like change the time of day in games that give you the power to do that. Like unless I am time traveling myself somehow, it feels very strange. Like I'm gonna change the time for everyone. Ha ha ha. You
Yeah,
know?
like it's like.
Like, how is it working? Am I rotating the entire planet so that the sun is high in the sky? This doesn't make sense. It's not a thing I should be able to do, but we give you that
Too
power.
much
So that's fine.
power.
Right.
Too much power for a 12-year-old kid.
Yes.
Turtle.
I did see the turtle
Oh.
there for sure.
Can we do the turtle?
Yes, but
Is
I'm
it, like,
low
really
on
slow?
meter, right?
Okay, no soul
Do it anyway.
times. Oh, I love turtles. I love sea turtles especially.
Oh my gosh, Julianne.
Why can't the turtle poop? Sorry.
I have to send you this Instagram
Not every
account that
animal.
keeps getting recommended to me, and it's this person with this beautiful, like, baby tortoise, and it'll be like, the turtle's name is Fig, and she'll be like, I'm making Fig a salad, and it'll be like dandelion greens and like flowers, and then she'll put the microphone like up close so you can hear him crunch the leaves.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
that's
for the
my
sake of
new
showing
favorite
people the
account.
next
Thank
thing,
you.
if I do the skip,
I'm
will
gonna
it
find
only
it.
skip me forward to the like I have the pearls, not all the way to the end of the chapter?
That's a good question.
Let's
I
find
don't
out.
know. Oda said you could save your game and then do it, but
So, how many other games have something where it's like a skip a gameplay segment instead of skip just like cutscenes, narrative cutscenes?
yes, it did skip you to the next bit
Yes,
where you
perfect.
have the
So
stuff.
we'll
Good.
assume I got the pearls. This is perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that
Celeste
feels
has something
special to
very
me.
close, Julianne, where you can just turn on infinite jumps and spikes don't kill you, and at that point you will finish it.
Is that what assist mode does?
It's granular, but yes.
Okay.
I've
Cel-
definitely heard of a few games that do that kind of thing, but like it's
This is just
kind of
skipping.
rare.
Tchia.
It's especially
Yeah,
rare
this
in an
is-
action game like this. It's more common to like the Phoenix Wright games. The new ones will let you do that. You can just turn on play for me mode.
Ini hace
Ah,
lo
okay.
hace na sida.
That's so interesting to me. Like, just like as an idea too, like how we're more used to skipping narrative than the game parts in games, right?
Right, because like the idea that I would skip this cutscene to get to the important parts is not nearly as striking a change, right?
Yeah. See, we got nothing against them, but they hate us. Seems like some big misunderstanding has happened in the past. It's fine.
Right. It's probably like some like old grandfather or grandmother like had a feud one time and they just carried on without knowing why
Yep.
the actual origin of the thing occurs.
It's always that way, isn't it?
So now we're going back
Seems
here
to be.
to get our white clay.
The fun bit is like if you get the white clay, you can get it even before you need it, and then you can
Oh
just
wait,
like
that's
turn
not
around
the
and
right
have to-
link. I sent you completely the wrong link, Julianne.
I didn't
did
realize
that
we
happen?
could have
Well,
gotten
I
it
didn't
earlier.
even see it because I don't know where you
yeah, I
sent it to
texted
me.
you. It's fine.
Oh, text.
Yeah, I know, right?
Phone.
I'll put the correct one in the chat.
Okay, it's fine.
It's weird. It like I did the whole share thing, and then it did strangeness.
Did the wrong thing.
There.
Yeah, because last time I texted you was February. Okay.
I know.
Which is actually kind of recent.
'Cause
Because
we
we were in those-
Roommates.
Roommates. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put
There's
it in
our
there.
crab we needed last time we were here.
That's
Well,
the one.
that
This
one-
is the one where she makes him a salad, and it's the
Thank
cutest
you.
thing
I
ever.
can see the white clay from here. We're pretty close. Let's just
Excellent.
bring ourselves over.
Trying not to get absolutely soaked and failing.
Yep. Alas.
Oh, Jarell's mad.
That I hit the water there?
No, the John composed the
The
score
John composed the score.
because his backlog
Sorry.
was too big.
Oh,
Wait, where?
I was
What?
trying to not get this game right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now I have no
It's like,
choice.
oh, I need to buy
that's true.
that
You
thing, yeah.
you need to get it. Also, like, independent of the fact that someone we know worked on it, which is a factor for me in, like, if I decide to buy things or not, like,
Yeah.
everything about this feels legitimately
Amazing.
wonderful to
Yeah.
do, right? Like, this is not going to get old for me for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the third coolest way to move around the environment in this
Yeah.
space. Oh, birds are the winner, though, in terms of being time efficient for everybody's
And
sake.
and
And pooping for Julian.
Yeah.
Yes,
I just
know.
remember. Yeah. and yes, it's one. I just remember like watching the team, like as a playtest, just like there was a while where I think someone just set it up so you spawned with a backpack full of birds by default to just like test stuff.
Nice.
Just got a backpack
That's
of birds.
amazing.
That's funny.
6 pigeons in your bag. Let's go.
It's a lot of pigeons.
Yeah.
Carry them all.
So in my bag right now we have the tooth fragment, the egg, the clay, and that's it.
Great. You got this.
We do.
I think at this point, like, we have I think this is the last. Like, this and the following sequence will unlock the last thing. So now you get to
Now you have,
custom, like traditional, like, face paint options.
yeah.
Oh,
They're all
nice.
based on actual
We'll do
patterns.
this one here.
Actual face paint patterns. Cool.
So choose the one that you think looks coolest. You can always change them. It's not a permanent thing.
What is validate? Oh, there
That
we go.
means that you've chosen it.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It is. It's a choice that's like that. Probably makes a little bit more sense in French, like confirm, you know.
Yeah.
But we get validate and dismiss instead of confirm and back, and I never really is fine. You know?
Before we go, I'm gonna try to. I lost the pinned.
Oh yeah, so here you go. You get to play Wanjeps and Stonai here, and the Wanjeps are those like folded bark beaters.
Okay.
And the Stonai are like these seed pods that are dried out that you strap to your legs and you can stomp your feet. And so she's doing that while we have a Pilu ceremony dance going on here. There's some of those flutes that I mentioned that you kind of and what you hear, the kind of like whistly sound here frequently, or at least some of them, the kind of one that's going did it in kind of a tritone, but like being 3 notes, not actually not actually a tritone interval going on there, are these weird little whistles that they use that are like they're almost like bosun's whistles from ships that have been like modified or like inspired by that, and they're made of metal, and I tried to replicate that myself to get the sound, and I hit it pretty darn close, I feel like. But yeah, this is trying to do this justice. You can look up actual performances of these dances. There's a whole ton of different ones
That's so cool.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know,
I will note
and-
we're starting to have a slightly lower frame rate just because I'm loading so much extra imagery for the Starlight stuff. It is not a reflection of the game's build
Performance,
quality,
yeah.
which some internet folks
What
have
is
been
this?
complaining about.
Yeah.
What is this dance called that you said?
I'll type it in the chat here.
Thank you.
All right.
There it is. I had to scroll so far up in the chat to find our Tiltify page.
Nice.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you.
we reached our goal.
Hey.
Hey!
Right as the music kicks in and we go to slow motion too. All right.
Oh, Arrow, you're the MVP of the stream. The note is, I see you have not met your goal yet, and I'm here to fix that.
Oh.
That is incredible.
The music swells with emotion.
Yeah, the music knew.
The music knows. Music always knows.
I will note, there's something, is it 64, 66 tracks on the soundtrack?
On
It's
the
a
first
long-
soundtrack, yes.
Bandcamp album, I noticed.
It's it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. Yeah, I wrote like 4 hours of music for the game. There's a lot of stuff in this,
Amazing.
and like trying to figure out how to
so
present
good.
it in a nice format was a bit interesting. Oh, but yeah. So while you're in Welly Welly, you can hear that traditional rhythm in the background. It's kind of like
Someone
woven
on
into this.
Spotify already uploaded a playlist they call Tchia and Chill, and it's not the Tchia music, but
What's-
stuff inspired by.
What's
Oh,
absolutely
that's fun.
wild, and I can maybe, man, I shouldn't say it, but we'll probably have a real announcement very soon. So there are 2 albums for Tchia that are coming out. There's our main one, which is out right now. It'll be it's on Bandcamp. Will be on,
Which I just linked. How sad.
Buying it right now.
fantastic. It'll be out on
Literally right now.
Spotify and everything else. Hopefully, I think tomorrow is the release day for that. But there is a secret second album And the code name for the secret second album in production, as I put it together, was called Tchia and Chill, which is just a real dumb joke. Because I'm a child.
That's
and I
funny.
called it Tchia and Chill, but it was with a T, so it was Tchia. It was Tchia
Did you put
and
the
Chill.
T in front of? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Right,
very
right.
stupid.
Okay, so that's
But-
not what this playlist
It's
is.
not
So-
what it is. And when I saw that playlist go up, I'm like, oh my god, they thought
Like,
of the
oh,
same
it's-
joke. They thought of the same dumb joke. But it was kind of funny at the same time. But the second album is very much in that vein, though, the kind of thing you would expect an album called Tchia and Chill to be in. It is. I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's called The Beach Sides, as in the B sides, but it's
Yeah,
the beach
yeah,
side.
yeah.
Anyway,
I
big dumb
think
jokes.
I love
that
it.
is
We're big fans of that on the stream.
correct.
It looks.
Okay,
It's close.
Oh yeah, it should be. It should be right. I think.
Yeah, it wouldn't give me the load screen if I was wrong. I don't think so.
You can valid. I think you're right in this case. You can make wrong ones later though,
Tchia,
and they will just not work.
unea
Got to get that key
Aha.
correct.
إني أثلي كمان ني ما فغنا إيه وفيني جاي.
Yeah, as we're kind of winding down the stream here, we'll see what this totem mechanic unlocks and we'll end it for the night. If you missed the last time we had John on stream, his previous game won an Indiecade like Audio of the Year award.
We were so excited.
This past fall. And I will say something, again, game audio professionals supporting each other. I had advanced knowledge that Ambition, A Minuet in Power was going to win. And I told one person at GameSoundCon this past fall, which was 4 or 5 days before the announcement, that it was going to win. And you would have thought that I had pulled out a $100 bill and given it to Mason Lieberman. He was so excited to hear
Still Mason, of course. Ah,
that it was going to win. And it's amazing to see how excited like other people who in theory like sometimes are not only colleagues but also competition, right? Like
Yeah,
in a practical I mean nobody likes talking about the economics and business side of the industry.
No,
But everybody is super supportive of everybody else and it just rules.
yeah.
And yes, I
that's
did.
nice.
Mason is the one person I did tell in advance.
I love that.
That's fair. Telling Mason is okay. Mason's great. So
I have to try and find now and link it in stream. I'm pretty sure you uploaded that stream to YouTube because it's one that was really fun of ours. Ryan.
Yes. It
Yeah.
should be
So
there.
let me find it really quick before we.
Sure. Check this out.
little bit.
For doing the totem stuff, you get the expansion of your meter. Now I have 4 meters instead of 3, so I can do my cool, not just rock surfing, but like
you
the
can
birds
poop
and the
even
deer.
more
and-
as a bird.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Ambition, a minuet in power. Yes. I always have to say the name out loud.
Ambition and yet in power.
A good reason to watch it is because we had Ashley Greathouse on with us, and
Yes.
Ashley and I had powdered wigs on.
Very good
That's
look.
awesome.
The vibes
Yes.
were immaculate.
Ideal.
if for no other reason.
Yeah, if you want to see Dana and Ashley in their full powdered wig get up, that's the stream to watch
And
for sure.
Ashley has like a legitimate reason because Ashley studies 18th century music, like as a thing. I just was like, there's an opportunity for me to buy and wear a wig. I'm in.
Beautiful.
In any case,
Yeah.
this is actually just about as far as I've played on my laptop now, which is
Ooh,
good
so no
timing, so I don't have to
spoilers.
spoil it live to an audience for myself. But this is just a great introduction to what feels like, again, under your hands, the game feel of it, if you will, is so excellent. And just a really pleasant game to lose yourself in for a little bit. And I'm looking forward to getting through the rest of it over the next few weeks before the end of the term.
Fantastic.
But
Yeah.
thanks everybody
think-
for joining us today.
It was so much fun.
I'm glad I was
you.
able to drop in.
And thanks,
Lovely
John,
stream.
Robert,
Yes,
Matt,
thank you so much for
wonderful
telling us
insight.
everything
Oh my
about how
goodness.
this game came together.
So great and so
It's,
wonderful.
It's
to
really,
listen.
I hope that this one, and honestly from the press I am seeing, it seems that way. Obviously I don't have any internal access to numbers, but I hope that you guys are getting a lot of the commercial recognition in addition to the critical acclaim. this time around, because this one really does feel fantastic to play.
Thank you. I hope so too. Fingers crossed. We are right now. We're out on Epic, and it's like $30 US. There is a fancy special edition with some extra stuff, kind of tied to our publisher, which is like an indie owned collective publisher called Kepler Interactive, that has published some other games. Some are already out, some are in development. We kind of did some little tie-in costume bits and stuff like that are related to those for that fancy special edition. But the game is out on Epic right now for PC. It is out on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 as well. And if you happen to be a PS Plus like mid-tier or high-tier subscriber, it's just free. You can just buy it for free. You don't actually buy it, actually. That's wrong
right.
word.
Yeah, if you're is it PlayStation Extra? I confess that I only pay for the low tier of like internet play access to my PlayStation, and then I just buy games.
Yeah. So you can.
But if you're above that, then you can get it gratis, basically.
Yep. It's just there. You can play it, and people are. I know that there's a weird, like, wonderful trend of people posting screenshots that they've taken with the camera, as well as just like ukulele covers. Someone made a really fantastic video the other day of just like how to basically take chord charts and stuff like that and read them and work like use all the ukulele features. And I was like, wonderful, someone has done this, great. So people are making those videos and putting them up, and that's kind of fun too. Super neat to see. But yeah, the game's out now. Feel free, like, check it out. If you're a mid or high tier PlayStation subscriber, by all means, just grab it, have fun with it. I hope you like it. It's a chill time. It has a fun, like, I describe it almost as, you've seen it here. It feels like kind of a fable or fairy tale-esque story. Like, it is a story being told to you. It's kind of a frame thing. So it's nothing is like super pressing. It's not tons of words, but it feels very real. And like the humanity of the experience and the culture is all wrapped up in that. And I think like everyone on the team did a really wonderful job to bring this together. I think we've 9-10 people on this team, and then like me and the sound designers, and that's it. So it's this tiny little team making this really, really big game. I hope y'all check it out if you like what you've seen.
Yes,
and
please.
we joked at the top of the stream that like it's weird for 4 white people, all with Midwestern connections, to claim it. But I will note that this is an absolute triumph on the diversity, equity, inclusion front as well. I want to name that out loud before we close today. I asked my students in game history, like, name me other large open world, like, multi-hour games where you star as like a black girl child, and nobody could name me a single one. So like, absolute success on that front.
It is an exploration into a culture. Like, for me, it's like, let's look at a culture that is not mine and see it treated with like sensitivity and like a sense of like it's educational in a way, like, but it's fun at the same time. And like those things together, and like watching, I found a thread on Reddit the other day someone sent over that was just like a fellow who was from New Caledonia just being like, I'm from New Caledonia, and like, have you seen this game? Like, ask me any questions about it, and just like going down like, yeah, this is a real thing. Yeah, this is like actually based on this. I've seen great. Like when we had our first trailer, like people talking about like seeing like there's specific landmarks that we put in the game that are based on real landmarks, and seeing a thing for the first time there and be like, wait, I know that's that, and then realizing that the game was based on their tiny little country that like people don't necessarily even know where it is. Like, here it is, kind of brought to the world, and that's kind of fun. And I'm really like, for my place, for my tiny place in this thing, I'm really honored to be a part of that. Working with the folks over at Awaseb was a real joy, and I'm glad that we put something that is so much, shall we say, like artistic merit for. It's a really lovely project, and I'm glad to be attached to it.
Yeah. Well,
Wonderful.
Again, we'll see everybody next week. John, thanks for joining us so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
This one was
much.
a blast.
Our
Good night,
pleasure.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.